too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much? Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you. Being too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
Так, всем привет. Давненько меня не было. Так, аж целых 2 недели. Даже 3.
Tea parties are a must for the well-mannered. If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you.
Так, сегодня буду проходить ивент, который на данный момент идет. И на этом, наверное, будет все. Пока. Следующий стрим я не знаю, когда будет.
Boring! Isn't there anything else more interesting to do?
Так, ладно, поехали.
It looks really peaceful. These look pretty fresh. Did the water imp get someone again? Let's look around and... Wait! Did you hear something?
Paimon? Traveler? I'm sorry. I forgot I was still wearing... Paimon, are you okay?
Paimon nearly mistook you for a water imp! Thank goodness it was just you wearing your...
Huh? A water imp? Thelxie, you say?
Huh? You know that name too? Or do you know someone else is trying to investigate the water?
No. I think our situations are sure, if that's in order. I know the name because of one of my employers. She noticed the clockwork penguins I brought to the... Following her request, I've
Huh? But isn't it a little creepy to name a toy after a water imp? Wait, hold on! Fremine, you never take commission...
Yeah, but, she made a special request. But out of respect for... It's alright, though. She'll be coming over to check on my progress shortly. And I'll just tell her that you're two of...
Huh. Even though you seem a little cold and reserved sometimes, you're still really considerate.
The fish? I think these past few weeks I've been taking Thelxie for underwater testing every day. So, all that about the disappearing fish?
So that's all it was? That actually makes a lot of sense. Wait, so...
Yes, I think that's quite likely as well.
Whew. So in the end, it was just Fremine! Paimon spent all this time imagining what a water...
I'm sorry. It sounds like I've created a lot of trouble for everyone else as well. Thank you.
Actually, how much work do you still have left,
Thanks for offering.
Hey, it's no trouble at all.
But don't you need to report back to your commission?
Nope, that's not how it works. See, Paimon's got these commissioner types all fixed. If we tell them now that it was all just a misunderstanding... Exactly! So if we can help you finish up your work and get the fish back, that would save us an extra trip.
Is that what you... Huh. Alright, I'll trust your judgment. Please, follow me. I've made a makeshift camp over there. I've stored Thelxie in the tent. He can respond to some simple verbal
Whoa, sounds pretty advanced. Let Paimon give it a try. Hey! So that's Fremine's version of Thelxie. It's also penguin-shaped, just like Pear.
Yep. Had Thelxie lived in Penguin Town, he'd probably have become great friends with Pear. It's not really anywhere famous or important. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Thelxie. Nice to meet you. Do you know how to say hello?
I wanted to install a language output module, but due to time constraints, I had to give up on the idea. As it stands, Thelxie can only output messages that were
No need to get...
No. I have two other things I'd like your help with. The first is to do some integration testing on Thelxie's...
That doesn't sound too hard.
The other shouldn't take too long either. You'll need to find Thelxie some colorful shells and coral, so
A weapon? Will Thelxie have to fight?
Mm-hmm. Thelxie will need to be able to charge forward with a...
What an imaginative employer! Naming Thelxie after a water imp, but wanting him to look like a prince?
Well, regardless of his role or species, Thelxie's purpose is the same. Just like Pear, he has come to this world to serve as somebody's companion.
Whoa, Thelxie just said something again! Could he understand what we were just talking about?
He can react to certain key words, but unfortunately, due to the lack of a translation module, he still can't quite communicate with us.
That's a pity. But anyway, the most important thing right now is for us to...
Sounds good. The motherboard is on my workbench, so please follow me. Ah, here we go. I have this testing manual, so feel free to reference it if you get stuck. Want to give it a try? It's okay if you don't succeed immediately. I've got a lot of backup boards just in case. Okay, knowing you, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. You're doing well. Just as I expected.
We've taken on a lot of similar tasks before, you know.
Then let's move on to the underwater part. It's just as I mentioned earlier. We're after colorful shells and coral. Oh, speaking of which, you're both already pretty used to Fontaine's underwater environment, right? Okay, that's good. Just let me know if you ever feel uncomfortable. I'll make sure to stay right by your side. It should be right over there. We'll be able to find something that'll help us with our search. This is it. We call this thing an echoing conch. It can detect special reflection waves in the water to help us with all kinds of underwater exploration and excavation efforts. Here, try it. Did you notice any interesting places? The echoing conch should have detected some just now. Let's go check them out. All right, these should be enough.
Fremine, you're back. I thought you might have been out diving.
I'm sorry, Madame d'Estray. I must have kept you waiting. I can report, though, that the construction of Thelxie is going quite smoothly.
There's no rush. I'm your employer, not your supervisor. And these two are...
Oh, they're two of my trustworthy companions. They're here to help me work on Thelxie.
Yes, I see. I suppose it's only natural for someone responsible like you to have some reliable friends.
It's really nice to meet you, Madame d'Estray.
Greetings, my new friends. Just call me Zuria. You are both so adorable. The sight of you reminds me of little...
Oh, do you really think so?
Of course. If my child had friends like you, then perhaps he wouldn't have become so obsessed with the tales of water imps. And I wouldn't have had...
Obsessed with the tales of water imps?
Ah, so you don't know anything about my request yet? I would have thought Fremine had explained it to you already.
Well, Fremine told us that it was a private matter, so he didn't want to just share it willy-nilly.
I see. So Monsieur Fremine is even more discreet than I had thought. But it would be quite impolite of me to...
Sure, you can tell...
Ah, what a love. Simply put, parents came up with a story, painting water imps as scary
Infatuated? With a water imp?
Yes. He told me that he thought the water imp might have just been misunderstood. In his mind...
Huh. So he wanted to become friends with the water imp so it wouldn't be lonely any longer? What a unique way...
Thank you, little Paimon. He indeed has always... It's a type of mental disorder. Those affected by it often feel extremely lonely and lose interest in many mundane activities. The syndrome is probably what made him so determined to become friends with the water imp.
Oh no. Is it a very serious disorder?
If you were to become afflicted with the disorder, Paimon, you would only be able to say less than a fraction of the words you're saying to the traveler now.
No! Paimon won't accept that! We would have to find a doctor to help cure Paimon. Paimon has a 2,000-word quota for daily conversations with the traveler, and she won't settle for a single word less!
The family doctor has already begun to treat my son, but since the disorder is rare, there aren't many good regimens for treatment. He's also developed some new symptoms lately, such as uncontrollable delusions.
Huh? Uncontrollable what now?
Uncontrollable delusions. To put it simply, he can no longer differentiate between fantasy and reality, and spends all his time in his fantasy world.
Then what is he seeing in his fantasy world?
It's a dream that he often mentioned to me when he was young.
Amazing.
But perhaps no...
How could the story end like this? Is that kind of fantasizing what caused your son to develop his loneliness syndrome?
Well, it'd be more accurate to say that it was the syndrome that caused such...
My poor child can no longer
Perhaps in his mind, the loneliness he felt became the same as that of a prince who
What?
Alas, most of the time he acts as if he can no longer sense or interact with the real world at all. I've had several... He once wanted to make a picture book of his imaginary world. But since the disorder progressed too quickly, he never quite got past the first page of the book. If we could use this book as a breakthrough for his condition... Here, you can take a look.
Ah, so Zuria's son also saw Thelxie as a penguin. Oh, he looks so sad.
What we should do now is help. We'll need to chase away...
But if we just need to finish the picture book, why does Fremine need to make a Thelxie as well?
Because we need to treat the book's story seriously, as if it's a history of things that have really happened. We'll need to go on a journey like Thelxie and help him, but my child...
Ah, like a stand-in for your son! Paimon's starting to get it now. Oh, you really put a lot of thought into this, Zuria. Paimon still has one question, though. Where will we be able to find a Water Imp Kingdom?
There are some ruins on the seabed of the Salacia Plains.
Oh, so we'll just need to act out a performance of, a brave journey.
Sadly, no. We won't just be putting on a performance. It's just as Zuria said.
So we'll be playing it straight? Or, making it a fully...
It's all right. There's no need to get that serious. It's not a big deal.
Zuria...
Keep your spirits up, everyone. If we were to look troubled, my son is sure to become anxious. We temporarily moved to a place on the hill over there, so my son will have a better spot to convalesce. It's not far from the water, and there's also a great view. Feel free to come find me if any...
Understood. There's also one last thing.
That's great news. I must thank you all. All right, everyone. Let's meet again in another 2 days.
Zuria sure is a brave and optimistic lady. Fremine, do you think her plan will work out?
Let's discuss that over by the tent.
What is it, Fremine?
If you don't mind me asking, I would like the two of you to mentally prepare yourselves. This is the first time that you've met anyone with the syndrome, right? I know you two are both really strong and will do everything you can to help the child. But with the syndrome being the way it is, if things don't quite turn out as we wish...
Fremine, why do you bring this up all of a sudden?
It's not that I'm not optimistic. It's just... No. They say there are many factors, and from the cases I've seen, there weren't many positive outcomes. In the worst cases, the patient could even... pass away.
What? It could get that serious? And here Paimon thought they'd just stop talking as much.
Yeah, that's just the nature of it. So, if you'll find it difficult to cope with the worst-case scenario, I would prefer that you back out right now. I don't want you to help only to feel like you failed.
Yeah, that's right.
Really? Then in that case...
Yeah! But Paimon has a question. If this illness can really be as bad... After all, we'll just be using a toy as Thelxie and some ruins as the Kingdom of Water Imps.
Well, I think it should be able to do something. To harbor a fantasy means that the child wants to save himself somehow. The only reason he's allowed his dream kingdom to fall is because he's lost control of his heart. But if we can help him regain control and escape from the darkness, we'll be able to change his world. Like helping someone who's lost their voice be able to speak again.
Oh, Paimon sees what you're saying now. Huh. How do you understand all of this so well, Fremine?
Well, maybe because I've also had many of my own dreams in the past. I even had my own fairy tale world, much like that boy's. I was able to draw a lot of support from it, so I believe in the power of fantasy worlds. So you remembered.
What Penguin Town? Why doesn't Paimon remember? Is that also a fairy tale world? Don't leave Paimon in the dark! Hey, why did you put that on?
It's just one anyway. Penguin Town is a peaceful place with lots of penguin residents. They're all really good at making clockwork toys. And Pear is the town's triumphant hero, as well as the one who quietly protects the whole place.
Pear? But didn't you make Pear yourself?
Well, I often think that Pear only came to...
Fremine.
No, I don't think so. I can still differentiate between fantasy and reality. I just believe that the fairy tale world of my dreams must also exist somewhere. It might just be hidden, which is why it's difficult to see. Or it will only reveal itself at very specific times.
Specific times? Like when you put on your diving helmet?
Yeah, that's the general idea of it.
Really? Paimon just said that because you put on your helmet.
Have you ever observed the surface world from underwater? It's as if you're viewing a whole different world from the outside. It's a very surreal feeling. Both alienating, but also as if you're being protected by something. I have a similar feeling when I put on my diving helmet. In those moments, it's possible to see some truly
Really? Like a
Well, if that's in order.
Hey, don't you still need time to work on Felxie's weapon? We don't want to keep you from finishing your commission.
Right. I still have to collect some tools I'll need to craft the weapon. I've got to finish everything before tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me, Paimon. I'm sure there'll be other opportunities for you to try my helmet. Thanks for all of your help. I'll be off for now. Let's meet up here again in 2 days. Is your child feeling any better?
Thank you for your concern, Fremine. His condition is fairly stable. The family doctor said we might be able to take him out for a stroll today.
Zuria, Fremine, we're here!
Seems like everyone's arrived now.
Not quite. Aren't we missing someone? But Paimon has a guess where he might be. Hey, Thalxie! Whoa! Thalxie's got himself a sword and a shield now! He's looking sharp!
Indeed. With his weapons in hand, Thalxie looks more formidable than ever. You've really outdone yourself, Fremine.
We helped you!
Yes, you really had a good eye for materials. Everything you found was... Speaking of which, Zuria you can just keep an eye out for them on our way to the ruins. I was planning to...
Seems like everything's ready to go. Shall we head out?
Please wait a moment. I was just thinking, since Thalxie has already shown us his brand new appearance, we may already be able to draw a new page in the picture book. What do you think?
Ooh, Paimon's excited now!
Why don't we use the story we know as a reference? Just make the atmosphere a bit less grim.
So we'll take out the sad parts and replace them with happier stuff? Sounds great to Paimon!
All right, I'll give it a try. I'm not very adept at drawing, but I've seen a lot of art during my work. Now, as far as the actual content of the drawing, please tell me what you'd like to see.
Let me think. We can draw the weapon. The prince has picked up the Sword of Courage and the Shield of Perseverance, which proves he has crossed the mire of doubt, and now is ready to wage war against the darkness.
Okay, I'll add the weapons. Anything else?
Paimon wants to give him some friends. Thalxie's got some friends by his side now, so he's no longer fighting alone.
Okay, I'll also draw some companions. Anything else? Color. Who would have thought the...
Great! Everyone looks super pumped up. Thalxie most of all.
Are you seeing this, my son? Are you feeling inspired by this as well?
I'm sure he is, Zuria. And this is still just the first page.
That's right! Paimon can't wait to see the picture book when it's all finished. We should finish it as soon as possible and keep up the belief and hope in our hearts.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to look forward to it as well. So let's get the show on the road and head towards the Kingdom of Water Imps.
Yay! Thalxie's fantastic adventures begin now!
too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
Look! Those are materials that we can use for the crown, right? Let's get some for Fremine.
These should be enough. I knew you'd have a knack for finding the best materials.
Whoa! Is that the entrance to the underwater... So these are the underwater ruins that Fremine found. They're pretty amazing, but still not exactly the kind that... Oh, yeah, Paimon knows. It's just... Paimon thought we'd actually see a fairy tale world. Like with the water imp's colorful houses and the rainbow bridge.
I'm sorry. I was hoping to put up some decorations, but ran out of time to do it by myself.
Whoa, someone's already switched into fantasy mode.
Seems like the travelers already got the gist of things. You should do your best too, Paimon.
Don't underestimate Paimon. Paimon can flip the switch too. Now entering Paimon Fantasy Mode! Ahem. Young adventurers, 'tis Paimon, guardian goddess of this land. State your goals and intentions for visiting this nation.
We are the companions of Prince Thalxi, your Divine Highness. We have...
Oh, reclaiming your...
Huh?
Not at all! This is the goddess's test! Ahem. From your responses, the goddess has concluded that you're all brave adventurers so please accept the goddess's reward. The goddess... And as for this prince, the goddess will also bestow upon you the rainbow glory, so your future...
My gratitude to your Divine Highness for such generous blessings. Power is now surging through every part of...
Me too.
Ahem. Now, adventurers. Please be careful, brave adventurers. Just as evil enemies that have invaded the kingdom of water and they're called... Hilly churls of the deep. Right now.
Those accursed enemies are back again. Your Highness, please show them what you're made of.
Emerge. Right here. Emerge. Right here. Nothing lasts forever. Right now. Emerge.
Settle down!
We're under attack again. It's a Lawitcher of the deep!
There's no need to fear, my friends. His Highness is so strong now that even a diviniture of the deep would pose no threat to him.
Right now.
Barbados, guide us.
It's finally over.
Yes, it was my mistake. I should have told Fremen.
It's all because the Traveler and Goddess Paimon were too strong. We just eradicated all the monsters in one go.
It's okay, Zuria. We can come back again once I've made the crown.
Then I must thank all of you again for taking the time. And you too, Thelxie, my child.
Thelxie's turning out to be a real expert at fighting.
I don't think there's anything that will be able to stop him. He's like a true prince now.
Yes, I agree as well.
Let's head back to camp for now. I asked the Traveler to search for some materials on the way because I want to make the crown as soon as possible.
We can add an update to Thelxie's fantastic adventures as well. Now that we've reclaimed the Kingdom of Water Imps, it's time for us to draw some new scenes in the picture book. Zuria and Fremine, why don't we draw the new pages first? Paimon really wants to update the picture book. Hey, you didn't have to say it out loud.
No problem. I'm happy to oblige. Then in that case, the story today should go after overcoming many obstacles. Prince Thelxie and his brave companions finally, at this time, the little fairy in the group, Paimon, revealed her
Woohoo! The goddess has arrived! She praised the companions for their purity.
bathed under the goddess's glory. The prince and his companions charged into the...
Oh no, the crown is...
No. The crown was within the prince's reach, but the monsters took it with them as they fled. They haven't given up.
Oh, and Paimon can almost see it all. Whoa, the...
Thank you, everyone. We've also completed... My child, you'll also be able to...
I'm sure he will, Zuria. Who knows? Perhaps the doctor will already have some good news for you when you get back home today.
I sure hope so, Your Divine Highness. Oh,
Please don't worry. One day should be more than enough.
Then I must thank you for your hard work. All right, let's rendezvous here in another 2 days' time for our final adventure. And see you in 2 days, my lovely friends.
All right, it's about time we start heading off too. You've still got...
Yeah, I'll need to go to the city.
Yeah, Paimon knew that you didn't often take commissions.
Well, about...
Because what?
It's because...
What's the matter? And what's with that look on your face? You're turning red.
Am I turning red?
All right. We won't bother you any...
Okay, thank you. I hope that everyone who...
Melusines are... Beautiful creatures. They are the pride. Fontaine. Be sure to befriend them and cause them no harm.
Today's the final day of Noxie's fantastic adventure. Hey, Fremine! Noxie! We're here!
Hello, Paimon.
Is the crown ready?
Yes, we're just waiting for Zuria now.
Then let's wait for her a little while. Or actually, maybe we can go find her. It's not too far from here anyway. Didn't she?
Hey, traveler, Paimon.
Oh, and speaking of...
Found you two at long last. I'm so glad that you both are all right.
Huh? Why are you here, Miss Delaroche? And what could have happened to us?
What could have happened? That water imp Thelxie, of course. After I gave you that
Oh, that? We've got it all figured out now. The boy you heard about was just Fremine.
Oh, sorry about that.
Huh? Fremine? Diving? No, that's not what I was told is that about a month ago, a child tied a bunch of heavy seashells onto his body and walked into this open stretch of water. He never came back. 100% sure. I've confirmed the account with several veteran fishermen I know.
Wait, let's go to Stray?
Yeah, that's the name. They say the family took on the name after moving to the city from a place called Stray. Anyway, his mother is... well, naturally, his mother was devastated by the incident and fell terribly ill. It's said that she left the court of Fontaine, and no one knows where she's gone.
It can't be, right? Let's go
I'm sorry, miss. We've got to go check on...
Oh, I see. Well, you...
Excuse us. Is anyone here? Is this...
Who are you? I have a patient here who needs quiet bed rest. Please leave us be unless you have anything urgent to report.
This is the residence of Zuria
Your patient should be Zuria's son, right? She told us herself that her son had contracted loneliness syndrome.
No, you're right. Young Master Lescaut did have that illness once upon a time, but he's... Well, the young master's no longer with us. And now the Madame has come down with the same illness. Are you her friends, by any chance? Oh, so When she had requested time to go out over the past few days, it was so she could spend them with you.
So, if I'm understanding this right, the one who's suffering from uncontrollable delusions is the Madame herself? She believes her son is still alive?
That is correct. When the young master disappeared, she was organizing an art exhibit that she had specifically prepared for him. But since she had to leave the house, she was unable to see her son one last time. That might have been the trigger for her regret. Or perhaps the family's fall into loneliness and grief was inevitable as soon as the old master passed away. First the son, and then the mother.
But how could that be? She really looked like she had a handle on everything. Her smile was so lovely, and she even told us to stay optimistic. But you're saying she...
Those actions are proof that she can no longer differentiate between fantasy and reality.
Then all the other things that she told us about her son, were those fake too?
No, those were all real. Although they were all things that happened before the young master left us for good. Madame's time has just never moved forward since his passing.
I see. So after her son left, she created a fantasy world where her son was still with her. She was looking for a way to cure his illness when she ran into us.
She has been in a good mood the past few days, even humming a song when she returned from her stroll. She even began discussing with me the idea of using deliberate guidance to ease the illness. It was all going well, until last night. She spent a whole night staring at the shell the young master left behind, and the words that he had inscribed onto it. Then she broke down once more. I prescribed some sedatives, and she's currently...
But then what should we do? How can we help her? There has to be something we can do.
Don't panic, Paimon. Even though this is a devastating piece of news, we must all calm down first. What should we do? I need to think. I need to remember the old house of the hearth, and the children who lived in it. Those patients, and what their doctors said back then. What if... Dr. Jalakon, have you seen a picture book?
Are you thinking about trying the guidance therapy she talked to me about before? Well, it's worth a shot. I'll go get the book.
Yes, this is it. That's right. If what Dr. Jalakon said was true, the past few days have been very helpful to Zuria, so we should complete this journey. We need to show her that her child has found a happy ending in the world of her dreams.
But wouldn't that just make it harder for her to...
One must first face reality before accepting it. The Madame...
Right. And if we could complete it, there's no time to waste.
We're here again. This is the final part of Thelxie's journey, but the most important person...
Everyone, please don't be...
You're right. Paimon needs to smile. If we have to give something to Zuria, and then she'll be able to recover, right everyone?
Yeah, I'm sure she will.
Oh. Be careful, brave adventurers. Here come the evil monsters that stole the crown. Let's eat these Cyclops. Let's eat them up.
Watch out, everyone! They're coming at us again!
There's no need to fear. Prince Felton looks stronger than ever today. He won't be going all out.
Right here. Wind, hear me.
Settle down.
Oh, this is the final enemy, right? We'll reclaim the crown for you now, Your Highness.
Fight will be humble.
Emerge, right here. I swear by my sword. I'm sorry. I have to go. I made a promise to my friends, and I'm already very...
But, Madame, you're still...
Don't try to stop me. Today's the most...
I'm not trying to stop you, Madame. It's just...
Dr. Jalacan,
I see. Madame, please rest assured...
Zuria! Zuria! We've retrieved the crown!
Paimon, everyone, have you really?
Yes, but the coronation ceremony still...
Wonderful, how wonderful! Thelxie, my child, are you hearing this? Everything you lost will now come back to you, and soon, very soon, you will never be lonely again.
And the last page of the picture...
Right, the picture book. But I don't know what I should put on the last...
Don't worry, Thelxie and his friends all know what should go on it. Get ready, Zuria. We'll describe everything for you.
Okay.
At last, Thelxie and his friends were
The water imps. Finally...
moved by everyone's happiness. Huh? Where's the last person? The prince looked frantically around, but could not find the...
The prince could not hold back his tears. Zuria walked across the bridge and...
That's the end of the story, Zuria.
Thank you. Thank you all. I am so sorry, my child. Maman should have spent more time with you. Mama.
What's happening? Is Zuria talking to...
Quick! Put on my diving helmet. There's a transcription module in it that's
Maman.
But I love you more, Maman.
What? Did you see something?
Maman, I'm getting a little sleepy.
Of course, my dearest child.
Thank you, Maman. Your lullaby has always been my favorite. Now that I've heard it, I can return to my...
My poor darling. Please don't forget.
I won't forget, Maman. And so is my love for you. Good night, Maman.
Traveler, Paimon, you're here.
Fremine! Why did you call us in such a hurry? Did you hear something from Zuria? Oh, if it's not good news, Paimon doesn't want to hear it!
Don't worry, it's definitely great news. The Madame came here for a visit just now with her doctor. Color has returned to her cheeks, and she sounded full of energy as well. She said she'd like to return to the court to continue hosting the art exhibit. But this time, of course, Thelxie's fantastic adventures and the guidance therapy will be included in the exhibit as well. She'd like to use her experience to help others.
That's wonderful!
Mm-hmm. Here.
But this is her son's story, right? Is it really okay to give the book to us?
Don't worry, it's just a copy. She still has the original. It's extremely important to her.
Alright, then there's no problem. It feels good knowing we've contributed to something important. Paimon definitely didn't expect the fantasy adventure to be so useful. Paimon was a little worried about how everything would turn out. After all, fantasy—
Paimon, do you know what the Madame said? She said that at the moment when she placed the crown on Thelxie's head, she felt like she also said that was when she was finally able to bid farewell to her son. She felt like at that moment, she was healed by some mystical power, and she was filled with courage from head to—
Oh, really? But could that just be another part of her fantasy?
Perhaps. But if fantasy is just fantasy, and the fantasy world is not real, then how could it still grant us these powers that we can continue to use in the real world?
But what else could it be?
A descent of the fairy tale world into the real world. At that time, the wondrous you saw it too.
What? That can't be what happened, right? There's just no way!
Yes, I suppose that would be a miracle. I hope that everyone who's found themselves in a dark place would...
Yoo-hoo!